We
I love
stopped.
it.
Okay.
It,
I
it
thought we
was
was going.
it
We was
was
going.
enough.
Just
I
one
was
Now go ahead.
winning
Keep going.
day.
Yep. Let it rip.
Well, I wanna be all alone. Just one
go ahead.
winning day. Come on,
I'm gonna tell
Hugh.
you one thing.
Come on, Hugh.
You guys will never be all
Is
alone
that deep
because
drop?
the red light is on.
Hey,
And we are
Hey.
joined by the thousands and the thousands of people who listen to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. Now, brothers, I'm going to warn you right now. Not only is the red light on to symbolize that the show has started, it symbolizes them also how pissed I am
Oh,
because I'm pissed. All right.
Oh.
I'm not happy about some things. And what I'm
Okay.
not happy about is a few WWE releases that's happened recently, something I wasn't expecting. And guess what? I'm going to speak about it today. But not only am I going to speak about the WWE releases, we've got some clarity. We've got a few answers. We now know that Jey Uso has made his choice for WrestleMania, but we also have to put our Booker hats on one more time. I know we don't like doing this in the Triple H era, but it has to be done because we have to figure out if Jey Uso has made his choice, then what choice is left for Cody Rhodes? We're going to talk about that as well as our Black History Month spotlight and much more. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for you to be here for another episode of the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. Gentlemen, let's get it.
Houston, we have a problem.
That was intense. Welcome to the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, I am your host, the realist himself, Mr. Take Respect, Defy Adversity, the real Dwayne Allen in the building, and he is your host, super producer, Brother Hugh, has a third H to the A to the S, 3 to the H to the E, 3 to the R, 3 to the D in the building, and he is your host, not just any guy, but the belt guy, a creator and curator of championship culture, Brandon the Guy, and in the building, of course, and he is your host, so the creator, the founder of the Wrestling Still in 2025, Mr. Steal Your Show. Did it play? Brian H. Wars in the building. I couldn't tell. It delayed on my end. Welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. Now, you know that once we get the show started and the train gets moving, it's a downward spiral from there. But it is going to be another one of those fun shows. It's going to be another thought-provoking show. But of course, we got a little bit of business to get into because in case you've been living under a rock, every Tuesday at 8 p.m., there's a certain show that comes on that embodies everything championship culture related. Henceforth, the name, Championship Culture. Let's not waste any time. Now that you've heard and seen the intro, you know what time it is. It is time for us to review the latest episode of Championship Culture that can be found every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. Playlist Championship Culture, where Brandon the Guy and Brother Hugh has the third. They sit back, they bring it all together, and they give us championship culture content. Good brothers. What was this Tuesday's episode all about?
Oh, buddy. That was a heck of an intro, if I must say so myself. But brother here, what
Yes,
was
sir.
this? What was this Tuesday about? As I get prepared for you to tell us, what
That
was
belt
this
looks
Tuesday
familiar.
about? It does. Look at that. Oh, buddy, look at this belt.
We decided to take a break from the E, if you will, and we moved to the other side of the railroad tracks, right? We went
Mm-hmm.
on over to AEW, and
Mm-hmm.
we talked a little bit about that there tag team championship, and we broke down the design, gave you a little bit of history on it, and you know how we do it, championship culture way. Of course, we're going to
Oh yeah.
ask who wore it better. Who do you feel has won those AEW tag team championships better so far, or the best so far?
Mm-hmm. Very good, brother here. I think that he gave an in-depth breakdown about the design of the belt, things that the belt is, similar to, and certain key takeaways from the belt. So if you get a chance, go over to the playlist on youtube.com/the wrestling realm and go right over to championship culture where you can see this latest episode about the AEW Tag Team Championship. That's what this week was about. And I feel like, I think we did the belt justice. I think we talked about some of the history, some matches to
Mm-hmm.
watch.
Mm-hmm.
I gave my take on who wore it better. I think Brother Hugh gave his take, but we all interested to see. While we tune in on Wednesdays after championship culture, what do we tune in to see, Brother Hugh?
Oh, we want to hear them notes. That's what we're
That's
waiting
what we
for.
worried about as he get prepared. Look at him. He's in thought. It's
So,
about to happen.
so for those who are not familiar, which I know that you are, if I can't participate in Championship Culture Tuesdays every Tuesday at 8 p.m., I can't get my comments. I can't disrupt the show in the comment section. I sit back and I say, you know what? I'm going to take notes and I'm going to bring it to the show the following day. So, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I've got notes. I'll give Brian H a break today. It's been a long day for my good brother. I'm not going to rub the paper on the microphone. Psych! Sorry, couldn't help myself.
I thought he had a half a sheet of paper. Was that a whole sheet? Is
It
that a
was,
whole sheet
yeah.
of paper? It is.
Look
Okay,
at
good.
that.
All right.
Look at that.
Look, notes. He got notes.
So, of course, I've got notes. Yes, the realness always brings his notes after an episode of Championship Culture to give his 2 cents because I am a belt guy. And this episode of Championship Culture highlighted the AEW Tag Team Championship titles. Now, this is one of the strongest championship lineages, for AEW in their history. And that's thanks to guys like Kenny Omega, Adam Page, of course, the Lucha Brothers, and of course, the Young Bucks, currently held as of this recording by the Hurt Syndicate. AEW's tag team division has always been a highlight, as well as FTR, not to dismiss them. AEW's tag team division has always been I guess you could say in a main event spotlight. And I think the choice of not going with the Young Bucks outright and kind of waiting until we got to that point when it comes to AEW and that tag team division, it seemed a little head scratching at first, but the show pretty much embodied the beauty of the belts, the lineage of it, as well as the look. Now, AEW, they came onto the scene pretty strong. There was a lot of excitement for a fresh alternative with a budget, with the ability to probably at some point, maybe, not now, but at one point, go toe-to-toe with WWE and provide a new place for talent to work outside of that major corporation. But the AEW Tag Team Championship has always been at the forefront and sometimes been at the forefront over their AEW World Championship. Now, you can argue sometimes those matches have overshadowed the bigger picture or the main focus, which should have been the world title, but a lot of times it wasn't, which shows how much AEW valued tag team. Henceforth, why FTR love being over there. Now, I can't say too much about it as far as now is concerned, but I know when it came into fruition, it was hot. So that brings us to the guy who finally got his hands on some AEW tag teams. Brother guy, quick question for you. How do you feel about that championship now that you kind of have it in hand? We've always seen it. It's always been a beautiful belt. It's always this mix of tradition and modern feel when it comes to AEW championships. But now that you have it in hand, does it make you kind of want to go back and look at a little bit more of AEW tag team glory, or do you just say, you know what, I'm glad I have the championship belt. It's going to take its place in my tag team Hall of Fame behind me and call it a day? What are you thinking?
So I'm gonna say this because I don't want no stuff from you or Hugh later
Uh-oh.
on.
I can guarantee you that regardless.
Yeah. This belt is gonna need a new home.
Dang. Oh, that's
This
not a
one
good
over
thing.
my shoulder. No, that's a good thing. I'm telling y'all now because why do my belts normally need a new home?
Usually because you got an upgrade coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade it. After
Okay.
the show,
So
I feel
that's
like
not a
it's
new
time for an
belt.
upgrade. No, I've had this one for a while.
Okay.
Remember, I've had this for a while. It's time for an upgrade.
All right. Well,
So that's all I'm gonna say because I went back and I appreciate the tag team wrestling that AEW has given us, and I appreciate the not putting it straight on the Young Bucks. Because when I went back and was doing some research, I was like, it didn't make sense for it not to be on the Young Bucks at first because they had to get eyes onto that division, and it was, to introduce certain tag teams to the world of wrestling, as in the mainstream of wrestling. And that's what they did at first. And that's why it took so long for FTR, the Young Bucks, and the Penta and Ray to get it, the Lucha Bros, because they had already been bona fide tag teams everywhere else. So it was given a chance for these other teams to showcase and for them to really put their division into a spotlight. So I could appreciate that now, going back and looking at it, it made more sense.
yeah. I mean, I agree with that sentiment. I wasn't a huge fan of it at the time, but AEW has given us some real special moments when it comes to tag team wrestling and their tag team championships. Now, you asked a very important question on that show, and I'm gonna leave it at this because I want everybody to go back and actually watch the show. Who is your favorite AEW tag team right now? Of all time, it's always going to be the Young Bucks. Young Bucks do no wrong. A close second, it's always going to be. Don't do that, Brian H. See, there you go. That's that. He's being a heel again.
They do no wrong.
Do you guys? You know what? He's on his Hollywood right now. Do you guys? You guys have no idea the look on Brian H's face when the Young Bucks came to Baltimore, to Ring of Honor. This is before they were wrestling there full time, and they brought the house down. And Brian H just had the crazy face, like, yeah, I can't say nothing about that. They just set Duburn's arena on fire, and there's nothing Brian H could do about it.
And it was like, I want to hate them, but they're so good. Like I was like, they don't botch, they don't miss.
And now they're so old.
And this is before that. They're definitely the old Bucks. This is before the global domination. They were like just starting to make a name.
Generation before Generation Me and TNA.
Yeah,
this was even before then.
Slightly. No, I think it was slightly after.
Was it? Were they already Generation Me?
Yeah, it was slightly.
Okay.
That's like after that went left field. That's when they started like, you know what, we're the Young Bucks. So there you have it. We have a lot to get today. So there you have it. Those are my notes. Okay, that didn't go. I'm just.
Which way did it go?
I think I dropped it.
Okay.
The cat. That's okay. So there you go. If you want to go back and check out that episode, go to youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm, playlist Championship Culture, and check out all of the episodes of season 3 of Championship Culture to catch up on everything that you've missed. Trust me, you won't regret it. So yeah, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. That's where you can find Championship Culture. Trust me, there's more to come. Even though it's season 3, there is so much more to come. So if you're in the championship belts, all that stuff, trust me, you've come to the right place. With that being said, good brothers, it is February and it is still Black History Month. So here at the Wrestling Realm, every February we do our part in supporting and bringing to light moments in Black history, and this week is no different. We do a Black History Month spotlight every week in the month of February to highlight the pioneers of our culture, of African American culture, of people of color in the world of professional wrestling. Can you guys guess what this week's Black History Month spotlight is going to be? I can almost guess that you can't, but trust me, you're going to love this one. This is going to be a doozy. You guys ready for it?
Mm-hmm. Bring it on.
Here we go. This week's Black History Month spotlight. See that? Gotta mix the space. See? This week's Black History Month spotlight goes to some true pioneers in this game. Trust me, when you guys listen to this, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
Hey,
that's right. None other than Babs Wingo, Ethel Johnson, and Marva Scott. 3 sisters, African-American young ladies. In the 1950s, 3 African-American sisters would turn the pro wrestling world upside down. 3 of the first African-American women in pro wrestling, Babs Wingo, Ethel Johnson, and Marva Scott, before the Civil Rights Movement, before the feminist movement, they will play instrumental roles in integrating pro wrestling. In 1953, the oldest, Babs Wingo, she would wrestle then world champion Mildred Burke before a crowd of nearly 9,000 fans in Kansas City, which was billed as the first interracial championship match. And Ethel Johnson, known for her innovative moveset, including a standing drop kick and a variation of the flying head scissors, and was even referred to as the biggest attraction to hit girl wrestling since girl wrestling began, in quotes. She's a WWE Hall of Famer and heralded as one of the greatest women's wrestlers and pioneers to ever lace up a pair of boots. And the baby, their youngest sister, Marva Scott, following in the footsteps of her sisters, began wrestling at the age of 16, sporting her bleached blonde hair, was known as the greatest teenage sensation during the golden age of wrestling. A women wrestling Hall of Famer and former tag team champion with her sister, Ethel Johnson. In 1952, Johnson, along with her sisters, guys, get a kick out of this. They worked 3 matches, including a tag team match event in Baltimore, Maryland, which drew the highest record crowd at that time of 3,611 fans. Pressing through racism, sexism, Babs Wingo, Ethel Johnson, and Marva Scott are symbols of strength, toughness, tenacity, and they are Black History Month Spotlight of the Week. To learn more about these amazing pioneers in our industry, I want you to all go watch the documentary Lady Wrestler, the amazing untold story of African-American women in the ring by Chris Bornea, Babs Wingo, and Marva Scott. They both belong in the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, with their sister Ethel Johnson. Ethel Johnson was placed in the legacy wing because she was probably the most successful and the longest tenured out of all the sisters. But both Babs Wingo, I'm saying it now, and Marva Scott belong in that same legacy wing with their sister in the WWE Hall of Fame. And that, our good friends, is this week's Black History Month Spotlight. So there you have it.
Woohoo.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was a deep cut.
Right.
That was a deep cut, but that was perfect. Yes.
You kidding me?
That was definitely worth it.
That was good, wasn't it?
And in fact, I'm glad you didn't say anything else but lady wrestler and girl wrestling, because that's what it was referred to at the time.
Yep.
That's literally what it was called, because they were girls that were in the ring, the girls match. It wasn't, when you hear the term girl and lady, you got to think about during that time frame when those terms were used to kind of downgrade and belittle. So it was good that you kept it, because that's the time that they were trailblazers in that era, and to take you back to that moment when they were actually, and I didn't know about the Baltimore thing, so thank you for that.
See, I told you guys get a kick out of that. We have such a rich history where we're from.
We do.
We definitely do.
So yes, I trust me. I implore everybody, please go watch that documentary. It's crazy because you'll hear Ethel Johnson. She does majority of the talking head spots in that documentary, and she just talks like she's been in the business. You know wrestling when you hear one talk. So it's a very special documentary. You can find it on Amazon Prime. You do have to rent it, but trust me, it's like $1.99 to rent and maybe $4.99 to actually own it. So,
well, that's not bad.
No, not at all. So trust me, if you have the time, please go back and check that out. So there you go. That's our Black History Month Spotlight of the week. But we have a lot to get into today, including Jey Uso making his choice for WrestleMania. But who does that leave for Cody? We're going to talk about that and much more. But before we get to that, every week we do a segment as well called Wrestling Facts and Unpopular Opinion. These are alternating segments to help the world get to know the host. So you know the people that you're listening to just a tad bit better. You understand who they are as wrestling fans. So we give you these facts and we give you these unpopular opinions every week and alternating weeks. So you can say, you know what? I relate to that one. Hey, you know what? I get where he's coming from. And this week is no different. So this week we are on Wrestling Facts. So you guys ready to tell the world some facts about you? This week's Wrestling Facts. The question was posed. What was your first piece of wrestling merchandise that you ever remember being a wrestling fan? Brothers answer this question, and there's stories behind these facts. There's reasons as to why these questions are asked, and we're going to get into it because, like I said, we're here to give you the facts. So, who wants to go first? Let's talk about the facts, the Wrestling Facts. That is, it sounds like a TV sitcom.
It does.
Starting off,
Right. It does.
Brian H. Let's talk about it. What was the very first piece of wrestling merchandise, pro wrestling merchandise that you remember? That's your first recollection of ever having and say, you know what? This is my first piece of wrestling merchandise. What was it?
It's actually been a long day because I actually meant to have it here. But when you got a 15-year-old, so he's actually working on grabbing it right now.
Wow.
But it's the WWF game for NES called Wrestlemania Challenge. There it is, right there. Yeah, Wrestlemania Challenge. I vividly remember playing this game in my uncle's room. Shout out to my Uncle Troy. And
always Uncle Troy. These stories always start with Uncle Troy, don't they?
Yeah,
my guy.
He ain't lying.
But you know, one of the things I remember about this, you know, is my late grandfather. I was 4 years old when he died, but I can vividly remember playing this game while he was, unfortunately, like on his deathbed, and him watching, me play this game. But sometimes I'll look at YouTube, the video, this is one of the few games that had one of my favorite wrestlers, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, on it. And, and that 8-bit music sound that they did for all of theirs would later sound like cell phone music.
Did you say 8-bit music sound, Brian H?
Yeah, 8-bit.
One of that reminds me of.
Hey, yo. I walked right into that one.
Sure
That's
did.
crazy. That is crazy.
Right
Look, he's fussing Jonathan out right now. Ladies and gentlemen, he's fussing out his son because he can't find it.
Because I'm literally looking like all the regular Nintendo games. They're not
right
next to the...
You ain't looking.
You know what it is? He don't know what a NES game look like. I just realized.
Young whippersnappers. He doesn't even know what cartridge to grab. He's like, which one is the Nintendo?
Just to let you know, your uncle's making fun of you right now, live on air in front of the millions and millions of Wrestling fans. But yeah, that was my my first game. I'm gonna get it on. I'm gonna show it on screen because it's very, very sentimental. So while you go to the next person, because he can't find it, I'll be right back.
Good. So, like I said, Brian H, his WrestleMania Challenge game pretty much told you why he thinks this is special, why it's so important to him. How these things, you can hear him in the background.
Right.
That's my fault. I got it. I realized
you sent it to the wrong place, didn't you?
No. So what it is he's not going to know because it's clearly this is the original. It's not. So I have a lot of games that I rebought over the years.
Yes.
This is the original, the one that my grandfather got me and held. This one right here.
Wow,
so
that's special.
You can see the ripping of the box or the art. They actually used to put the art on the cartridges. But yeah, this is it. This right here. I spent many a days, everybody knows about those.
There it
They
is.
know what time it is, bro. They try to lie, said, "Oh, that never doesn't work." It worked for me plenty of times. Liars.
And parents would say that because they didn't want you doing that or taking alcohol swabs. And my parents was the one. They one time went to the store to buy the Nintendo cleaner, the official Nintendo cleaner. 30 years later, I'm like, y'all know that was just alcohol. It was the same solution that they probably sold for $10. But shout out to parents because they was willing to go that far to make sure I had a game that worked. So I appreciate it, but yeah, it was the same thing.
There you go. See, that's what it's about. These special stories shape us as wrestling fans, and now the world they get a sneak peek on what that's all about. Yeah, brother guy, let's go to you. What was your very first wrestling merch that you remember having that meant the world to you? Let the world know.
You're gonna laugh because it's crazy because I didn't have wrestling action figures growing up, and my first wrestling video game wasn't until I know because I had action figures and Transformers and Power Rangers and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't have time for wrestling. I was into the other stuff, so it was crazy because even my first wrestling video game wasn't until it was on PlayStation because that was the first time I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the wrestling video game. Because all the video games in my mind, and this is a thing that'll probably blow your mind, I thought they were like the arcade game, the one that you play when the Undertaker used to throw the stuff, and now I thought they were all like that.
Oh, WrestleMania arcade game,
arcade game, classic.
But that's what I thought all of them were like. So I never asked for one, never had that, So my first wrestling merchandise came when, and this is dating myself, when I went to my first live wrestling event, and that's when it was purchased for me, the foam fingers that they had back then, and it was none other than Too Cool foam fingers. And it was crazy. I went to go look to see if I still had it. I thought I still had it, but I might have parted ways with it because I think it got wet when my basement flooded. But yeah, it was a Too Cool foam hand, and I remember having that at the show. And then this was during the time. Now this will take people back where signs were a big thing, and I had a foam finger. So, and I had that thing, and it was everywhere in my room. It was always up on the wall. It was on display because that was something cool that I had from Too Cool. Because being a kid and seeing Too Cool, you're like, oh, this is where it's at. This is who you wanted to come and see. So that was my first one, and thanks to my wife for making sure I had that. So appreciate that.
That's always cool. Now everybody, let's go.
Especially at the end when they would put glasses on.
So nobody's gonna do the Too Cool dance. That's cool. That's fine. Forget y'all. Thank you, y'all just sat there. Y'all sat there. Watch me do it by myself. Compare that, man. So
he would be shaking his head real hard because he had to go off on that one part.
Right.
He was.
I felt so bad. Remember, he returned. He did that whole dance, and it was just deep silence.
He was out of breath.
Right.
He got all this stuff in 2 seconds.
He was working hard too coming down that ring. He got everything in it. Nobody knew who he was. Maybe should have the outfit on.
Yeah, he should have had the outfit on. Nobody knew who he was.
That was bad. That
was rough. God rest his soul.
Season 1 of
you want to go next? Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Let's go.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna kind of cheat.
No.
I'm gonna kind of cheat a little bit because the first piece of merch I've had was the WrestleMania game for Nintendo, but I couldn't use that because there's a gump on the front of it. So
wow,
I'm gonna go with something that was a little bit more personal to me. And
so you ain't answering the question.
I actually was cleaning out my room earlier today, and I happened to come across my old like stickers and the WWF stickers, the Attitude stickers, and trading cards that I had from back in the day. We used to stay at flea markets when we were younger, and I came across this pack of wrestling cards, and the rest is history. The reason I got the stickers is because they had a lot of cool designs on them, and for those that do know, when I was younger, I've always used to sit down and draw. I had my sketchbook with me all the time, and you can ask Brian. I used to draw everything.
He was one of those guys.
Yeah, I was one of those guys.
$1 million bill.
I was always jealous of guys like you, brother, here, because I could draw, but I couldn't like come up with stuff on my own. But the guys with the sketch
make it look like so easy.
I would steal stuff and try to replicate it.
Art teacher was mean, but he was in there killing it. He was the only one who could put a smile on her face.
I know, right? He loved me. Yeah. But yeah, found them, got the little stickers and whatnot, got them back. I got a Jericho one for you right here, brother Brandon.
Oh shoot,
old school Jericho.
Where's that?
Is that mine? Are you giving this to me?
Yeah, you can have it.
Okay. That's his generation.
I'll put it with my other Jericho. I'll put it with my wall of Jericho. See what I did there.
But yeah, I came across that and I was like, hey, this will be good. This will be something different.
Okay.
So I'm rocking with my cards and my stickers.
I
There
think
you
to
go.
date, I still only have 5 action figures, realness.
No, I have like, I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm hiding like 8 of them in my back seat right now. That's cool though.
And look at
Wait,
Thrill
And
Mark Jericho. When I'm looking at him, Thrill Mark Jericho.
It's crazy.
yeah,
All of
yeah.
my action figures got thrown away because we had what was that? I forgot what hurricane it was. Was it Sandy? It might have been Sandy.
Might have been affected
Anyway,
Sandy. Yeah.
2012.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hurricane hit, flooded the whole basement. All my toys, and Ninja Turtles, everything got destroyed. So I was like,
Oh,
dang, bro.
I just got sad, bro. How we gonna finish the rest of the show? You should never said that. You could have kept that to yourself. Ah, I didn't know you.
My bad.
I didn't know you lost your childhood figures.
Lost everything,
Right.
bro.
That's what you had me when you said turtles. I'm like, oh
Yeah, I was like,
no.
wait a minute.
I wanted to say they
that?
could have swam. They should have held up.
Right.
It's like you had all that and it's gone. Oh no.
Yes, man.
No,
All the
don't
wrestling
tell me.
figures,
Don't tell
everything.
me you had the brown Donatello. Then I'll be real sad. Because remember,
Oh,
he was
Oh,
brown at one point.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had quite a few.
Yeah.
I had quite a few old figures, and I broke half of them. I broke all of them actually, but I got grown, and I ended up going back and buying them all, and then still multiply. So being grown and being able to spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. So yeah, shout out to you, brother Hugh, and your trading cards and your stickers. That's a very
And they still look good.
collection piece. Yeah, and like I said, you still got a whole binder full of them. So I guess it's my turn. So when it comes to Wrestling Facts, what was the first merchandise that I have? Well, at least I can remember having. And this is because, brother, you had to get this picture in particular because I didn't want to have a gump on my thing either.
Right.
But the Talking Wrestling Buddies. First of all, my
wrestling buddy
is funny. You said what?
Yeah, you had a wrestling buddy.
I
How did I not
multiple.
expect that? How did I not expect that, bro?
I was gonna
You
say,
gotta-
which ones did you have?
I had Hogan and I had Warrior. I
Sing.
didn't have the Macho King, but then I had like
Oh, man.
other like buddies, like had like some of we had like Ninja Turtle versions, not necessarily of Tonka, but like similar, you know, in the same genre. You know,
Right.
big flat pillow stuffies, you know, turtles, and the crazy part is I don't remember a day of me not having these things. I just like my first memories are my brother was a huge wrestling fan before I was. If people don't know this story, I'm gonna tell it really, really quick because this is what Wrestling Facts is all about. I was told that my brother went to babysit. Our great aunt used to babysit us. We call her Nanny. I love you, Nanny. And he went to Nanny's, and there was a kid there that had a Hulk Hogan, LJN, the big rubber action figures at the time in the 80s, and he wouldn't let my brother hold it, and he cried about it. And Nanny told my grandmother, my mama, God rest you, my mama, I love you too. And she went out and she said, "Oh, so the boy didn't want to share," and went out to the store and bought my brother the whole collection.
Wow.
Now that was in the late 80s, right? So by the time I started recollecting things in the early 90s, there was a school bus full of stuffed toys and them rubber action figures and these wrestling buddies. And it was always wrestling going on in the house, whether it was me and the buddies, me and my brothers, me and my brother and my father. So and it's wrestling magazines everywhere. So I don't remember a time where this was the very first thing. Like if you think about my childhood memories, when I first memories, it was a wrestling, and the wrestling buddies was the one that stood out the most. I didn't really get into the big rubber, like I wasn't a fan of those as much. They were just there, and you know, but the wrestling buddies, you couldn't tell me nothing. The Hogan and the Warrior, man, it was I was never not wrestling thing or someone ever since the age of at least 3.5.
Did you beat the stuff out of them?
I did. They was about as flat as pancakes by the time I got done with them.
Same, because I had those that exact same too, and after the Hogan one got demolished, they threw it out. But I think because every time the Warrior one, like the stuffing, the little cotton would come out, we would just put it back in. And I can remember me and Megan trying to like staple it and tape it. Just like I literally held on that thing.
Surgery, trying to keep it alive.
Yeah, it's funny because that's the first time my dad was like trying to fix it. He said, "We doing surgery on Hulk Hogan." But afterwards, they said, "All right, we throwing this one away." But then I guess they didn't want to throw out the second one. And then you remember when WCW revived, like they came out with the NWO ones?
Yes, I had those too. I had those
just
too.
knew you had the Sting. That's why I said Sting.
I got ripped off because when you they were called trash talking buddies, and like you would squeeze them and they would trash talk. I don't know how, but mine didn't trash talk. I just had they were literally the same thing. Just no electronics on the inside. But I had a Hogan and I had a Savage, and mind you, I had to be 9 or 10 years old with no shame, still playing with toys. I'm 30-something now with no shame, still playing with toys. In case you have no match going on right now.
Hey, because who needs to be cool?
Yeah, what is cool anyway?
Right, what is it?
What is cool? So yeah, so trust me, I don't remember a day when I didn't have wrestling something. I remember when I was probably 12 or 13, my mother bought me a big body pillow from Walmart. She said, "Oh, I got you something." I said, "For what?" She said, "I got you this big body pillow because you and your brother always want to keep wrestling in my dang old house when I go to work. Now you got this pillow, you wrestle with that." And that thing was about as flat as a pancake by the time I was done with it. So yeah, there's a history of me who felt like I should have been a wrestler. That's why I love all the Tough Enough style shows. But
that's why you love LFG.
Oh, I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the facts. Wrestling Wrealm Facts, that is. It's like the Beverly Hillbillies. Next week, we will return with another segment. Unpopular opinion in the alternating universe of this. But until then, there you have it. Those are some facts about your Wrestling Wrealm hosts and how we grew up and how the things that we love and the things we do shaped us as wrestling fans. All that being said, good brothers, I think it's time for us to officially get this show started. So, of course, as usual, every week we're going to ask our co-hosts, Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed. Gentlemen, please help us start the show and ring the bell.
Want to ring the bell? Ding, ding.
There you have it. The bell even fell over. So, let's get this show started. Every week we do a segment called What Did You Watch? What Did You Watch is an opportunity for the brothers to talk about what they got into this week before we got here to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. What do we watch? What do we get into? What kept us already in the mind frame to talk wrestling as we always do? So, as usual, for those who are listening, good brothers, what did you watch? Sponsored by our good friends at SeatGeek. If you're looking to purchase tickets to concerts, live shows, sporting events, and more, head over to SeatGeek.com where you can use our promo code Wrestling Wrealm for any one-time purchase of $50 or more. That's promo code Wrestling Wrealm on any one-time purchase of $50 or more. Good brothers, what did you watch? Who wants to go first? Gentlemen, what did you watch this week?
I'll go first. I've been watching old school NXT ever since, for like the last 2-3 weeks. Just been going down the rabbit hole. Right now.
You still there? You're still there?
Yeah,
you haven't left?
I'm still there. Yeah, it's match that's about to come up now. Biggie versus, I think it's Connor for the NXT
championship.
Still
at the beginning.
Oh, gosh.
You still at the beginning.
The early years.
Yeah. Early years, yep.
He had the 3 ain't enough, man. I need 5.
Right. So that's what I've been diving into.
I'm a soldier.
Right.
What about you, Brian H? What did you watch this week, sir?
Man, right now I got on No Way Out 2000 headline with Mick Foley playing the role as Cactus Jack, challenging Triple H for the WWE Championship. Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you, brother guy, what did you watch this week?
I'll give you a guess. I'm pretty sure it was about what Championship Talk was about. Yes. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. All in 2021. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't 21.
Oh boy.
2000. What year was that? But I forgot the year, but it was All In. Lucha Bros steel cage match. And it made me go back and watch the Usos versus the New Day. And I can't say which one I like more. They're almost like 1 and 1 AR, 1 and 2 like interchangeable because they both had those great moments. And I challenge anybody, go back and watch those 2 steel cage matches, and you will definitely be enjoyed. I mean, you'll definitely have a good time. They're very enjoyable to watch.
Speaking of the Lucha Brothers, it goes into what I watched this week. I actually watched Penta's interview with Chris Van Vliet, good friend of the show, good brother of ours. Penta did an excellent interview. Very well spoken. Right. This is a gentleman that couldn't speak fluent English at one point in a short amount of time. He has done an amazing job to and he even apologized at the end of the show. Like, look, I apologize for my English. And Chris said, you have nothing to apologize. Very, very, very special interview. I didn't realize him and Ray Phoenix were 6 years apart. So that's his baby brother. That's, so I can understand now why some of that other stuff is kind of a little testy. You know what I mean? That, having to leave your younger brother behind while you're kind of doing your thing in greener pastures. But yes, I watched quite a bit this week, but I'm going to tell you what I watched. I watched WWE release quite a few superstars, quite a few talent. And needless to say, good brothers.
That was an interesting segue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you like how I did that, right?
Y'all was talking about Christopher and Lee, but we going this way.
I was
Why
not
you happy around this?
I was not happy at all.
What around this?
I saw a few names. Said, okay, makes sense. Okay, makes sense. Okay, makes sense. But then I saw a thing that got released. It pissed me off. Real
What
bad.
pissed you off? Real bad?
WWE released the Good Brothers. Everybody knows the Good Brothers are my favorite tag team. Too sweet and up top. This shirt was supposed to have a custom Good Brothers logo on it. I couldn't get it together in time before the show. I wore all black in solitude. And let me say,
somebody holding the title?
Yeah, I am. Because this is so. People in WWE, they never really got the Good Brothers, and there's a lot going on right now that we're giving Triple H praise for. We're giving Shawn Michaels praise for, but I've been giving them a lot of passes lately, and they shall not get a pass in this moment. They dropped the freaking ball. They never understood the Good Brothers. And they never let them be themselves. There's only one company that we saw that allowed the Good Brothers to be themselves, and that was TNA Wrestling. And you say, well, what do you mean? If you go watch all of their content from TNA, even during the pandemic, empty arena shows, all that stuff, these guys are rebellious, they're hilarious, they're unhinged. And we never got this version of them in the WWE because they were always put in blue. They was always put in red. They was always put behind AJ. But they never allowed the Big LG, Doc Gallows, and Machine Gun Carl Anderson to freaking be themselves. I sat there and a tag team match happened on Raw. It was the War Raiders versus the Creed brothers. And all I could think about was the Good Brothers coming in to attack both those tag teams and ending the entire show. I am officially protesting tag team wrestling going forward because I'm that pissed. I'm not watching. And the War Raiders are my guys. I'm not watching nothing in WWE. I'm not watching Motor City Machine Guns. I'm not watching Street Profits. I'm not watching DIY. I don't care if anybody cares. I care because there's no way in the world that those guys get there for the time they get there. They're barely used. You don't give them a chance to be themselves. You try to make them fit into this mode or be AJ's lackeys or try to recreate the from yesteryear. And then Carl Anderson gets hurt. He's out of action for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden you guys cut him. Now they're going to go off. They're going to become popular like they did before. They're going to make a name for themselves. And all of a sudden you're going to pay attention. But then you sign them and you don't let them be themselves. That's a bunch of crap. Y'all, they messed up big time with this one. It's dumb. It is dumb. Even in New Japan, you only saw but so much of them because everything is in-ring based. Everything they did in TNA is what makes the Good Brothers the Good Brothers. Everything they do outside of in their own ventures makes them who they are. And the WWE decided to get rid of them as a tag team. Why the heck would you get rid of a vintage tag team? I let it slide the first time when Shawn Michaels, they said in their podcast, Shawn Michaels like, what does the OT stand for? I don't get it. You know why you don't get it, Shawn Michaels? Because you don't pay attention to nothing outside of WWE. You knew they were boiling over. You knew they were champions, and you knew everybody wanted a piece of them. When they came back to WWE, the crowd went nuts to back up AJ against the Judgment Day. Of course, an injury happens, and that whole thing never really takes off. And then you cut them, man. Please, I'm not watching nothing WWE tag team related. You can kiss the back of my Nikes. I could care less. That's what it is. I stand in solitude with the Good Brothers. Too sweet, biz clears, all that, and some more. So there's that. That's the nice version. I've learned to tone down my promos ever since Brian H stopped me the first time we got started almost 13 years ago. So there you have it.
Nah, keep it going.
I'm done. Because if I keep going, I might use swear words, and I don't want my mama to hear me saying stuff I ain't got no business saying.
You are Jim Ross.
There it is. So there it is.
I feel you.
Everybody else that got, I ain't. And look, but the Good Brothers, nah, I'm not trying to hear that. But I have to move on, just like they have to move on, and I'm looking forward to what they do next, and they get to finally be their freak themselves. So. Yeah, that's flat out. That they come on, man. They're gonna do the same thing they always do. They're gonna get over with WWE, and all of a sudden they're gonna be, what are you? Man, let them be themselves, bruh. Let them be the Good Brothers. They've never got a chance to do that, and then you bring them back. You don't even give them a shot. I don't care how much you paying them. I don't care if Carl Anderson got hurt. He'll be back, and yeah, man, go ahead with all that, man. Good luck getting the Creed brothers over. When you got one tag to work with these dudes. My cat just knocked my light out. He's upset too. What are you doing, Bubba?
Well,
so there you have it. I just had to get off my chest because I'm pissed and I'm not okay with it. And like, it's nowhere really to go right now. And so I go back to say because that's the only time they're going to get a chance to really do what they do. AEW is a waste of space. And I don't care. So anybody got a problem with it? Come fight me. Y'all know the rules. I'm gonna get a t-shirt that says "Come fight me." So yeah,
we saw what happened last time. Somebody said that.
Yeah,
and then they turned around.
Yeah. So literally, when I saw, I was minding my business and I saw they got released, and it's exactly how I felt.
No, God! No, God! Please, no! 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 No!
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I think I heard it in a chat. And my first thought was, oh, shoot.
Bro,
I said, here we go.
Right.
Did the realness see this?
Bro, not happy. That's why I got this Undertaker purple in my background, because it's about to be a funeral. But like I said, we can't.
We all had those feelings because you had it with Nick Nemeth leaving.
Well, he wanted to get released. They weren't using him.
Right.
That man had to write a 20-page email just to get them to release out of his contract. They wouldn't try to let that man go. But this right here, man, miss me with that. Anyway, like,
at least JD McDonough didn't take them out. That's all I'm gonna say. At least JD didn't take them out.
That's below the belt. He made that personal. I didn't say that, brother Hugh. We're gonna take a quick break after this to get bring you a few messages, and after that, when we come back on the other side of the break, we're gonna discuss Jey Uso finally making his decision, brothers. Usually we get excited about this, but this is a nervous time for us to start trying to speculate what the heck WrestleMania is going to look like. But we're going to try. We're going to talk about Jey Uso's choice. We're going to talk about what's next for Elimination Chamber. We have 2 spots still available, and we got to figure out what in the world is going on. Who does Cody face? All that and more on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Download all of our audio content anytime on Spotify. You can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm.
Oh yeah.
What he said. We are back. Thank you for sticking with us. Let's get into it, brothers. We got some answers. We've been on this road to WrestleMania. Don't look so exhausted. As soon as I said it, all of y'all just started looking like y'all was tired already. What are you doing? We are the realm. The people are waiting for us to break this thing. Everybody look like, oh boy. We look so defeated right now. I'm like, this is not us. We got to, come on, man. We got to snap out of this. We're trying to shape together.
We're tired of the dust. We are tired of the dust.
Bro, the
dust has gotten
on the
to
number.
us.
It really has.
I said I wasn't doing this anymore.
This is ridiculous. But I know I did, but we have to do it though because the people are depending on us. We have to get people to think outside the box and to think outside of their own comfort zones and ideas. And we got to get them a chance to say, okay, we got to move the conversation forward. So we're going to do this. If anybody that I trust to do this, it's us. So we have to do it. So we're going to try to start shaping up the main events of what WrestleMania is looking like. Jey Uso has finally made a decision. He has officially chose the ring general Gunther to face at this year's WrestleMania. Now, let's start from the beginning. Jey Uso comes out on Monday Night Raw. Normal Jey Uso. He comes out. The fans are absolutely nuts. And it seems like it's getting louder by the city. I feel like cities are now competing with the Jey Uso entrance, especially if you're going to continue to kick the show off with someone like Jey. You're talking about starting off the show hot. Jey Uso makes his way to the ring. You don't pay it any mind. He's doing this thing with the fans. You don't pay it any mind. The fans are going crazy. And now there's this new thing where everybody's like, one more time, running back, one more time. And Jey Uso's got to look in the camera and be like, can I get it one more time? One more time for the fans, just one more time. And he hit it again. He leaves the ring. He goes to the commentary table. He stands up. And then boom, the ring general Gunther attacks Jey Uso like a good 75% into his entrance. Fans going crazy. What a mind-blowing opening segment to Monday Night Raw. Because first of all, I didn't see it coming. I got caught up in the fact that, you know, the whole Yeet Fest, the Yeet wave was going on. And then you just saw the camera angle, bro, the surprise factor of it all. This is Brother Houston, the production. Like, they put it to the far camera when you couldn't see anything, and all you heard was Cole going, Jay, look out. And all you see was him just dropping. You didn't even see what was going on. He was just up there, he just got dropped. And then Gunther made his presence felt to attack Jey Uso for whatever reason. And a brawl ensued. Officials came out, and Jey Uso, you know, he fought back valiantly. He did his thing. He, you know, Jey Uso's not one to be punked. And guess what? At the end of it all, he grabs the microphone and he says, you know, Bruce, I probably shouldn't even say this, and I probably shouldn't even make this decision, but guess what? Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Brothers, it's officially on. How are we doing right now? Are we okay so far? Are we tiptoeing towards WrestleMania? Because Jey Uso has made it clear, him and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, before we break down all the nuances, like the story behind this, the David versus Goliath narrative that's probably going to be thrown around in some way, shape, or form. Did you guys see this coming? Did you guys see it in this way of Gunther kind of attacking Jey Uso, almost provoking him into challenging him? Because when he made the challenge to Gunther, he seemed like he was surprised. Like, wait a minute, that's not why I did this. Like, I didn't.
He was yelling, "Don't you pick me? Don't you pick me?"
Yeah, and then he did it, and then he was like, "It seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is why we're gonna have this conversation. It seems to me that Gunther was trying to intimidate Jey from kind of staying away from it. Like, look, you don't want this. Go somewhere else." But in turn, it seemed like it backfired, and all of a sudden, now we have Gunther versus Jey Uso WrestleMania. Brothers, talk to me. Where are we at right now? How are we feeling? Is this the right move? Is this the wrong move? Did you guys see this coming? Did you guys like how it happened? What's going on? We got to have this conversation. The people are listening to us. They watching us. They like, okay, now what the brother's going to say. So here we go. What's
this is the perfect move. This is the perfect move by all means. I mean,
why is it the perfect move?
Because Jey Uso is crazily over. He is the guy right now, especially on Raw, on Netflix. Like I brought up before, he has that crossover ability. You don't want him clashing with Cody Rhodes to the point where if he stays over there too long, people are going, we want that instead of this. You know, to hell with the story. You done finished it. Now we do a new story. It would have simply became that. But now you put him with Gunther, somebody who's easily draws heat. Yeah, people like him, but he's easy to root against. And you know, he's not JBL heat wise, where it was barely people that like JBL. Like JBL was probably the best modern day heel because he didn't sell shirts and stuff. And Gunther kind of gives you that. So put him in the ring with Jey Uso, and now you're going to have 60, 80,000 fans screaming yeet, doing the yeeting all over Vegas. They're going to be yeeting up and down the strip. So I think this is the best match. And then if you want to have Cody,
Nothing.
If you want to have,
I said something crazy, but go ahead.
if you want to have Cody still retain and carry on this run, he still can, or you could give him a little bit of adversity. But then this also keeps Jey away from the bloodline and just goes to show total bloodline dominance. You got the video game that's coming out. It's talking about the island of relevancy and the island and all that. Jey Uso could be a part of that. He can also showcase why they are the #1 royal family in wrestling.
Okay. Interesting take. And I'm going to have another question to pose to what you just said, Brian, but I'm going to let everybody go first so they can get their 2 cents so we can piece this all together, because we got to slow walk this. It's Triple H. Like, we got to be the Avengers and team up together. We got to form the Megazord to take on Triple H. Brother Guy.
Oh, there was so many references that was. Oh, that sounded like me talking about sports. So
talking about sports.
I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought I was expecting it to be after Elimination Chamber or around Elimination Chamber, make the announcement. But I was like, of course they got to do something to set the Elimination Chamber up for the other championship. And I didn't see it happening this quick, where he was going to make his decision, because I thought he was just going to ride the waves. But if there's anything that Triple H has shown us, he can make us care about something for a long time. And it feel like WrestleMania is like 746 days away. And I'm like, wait a minute, we got to tell a story getting in there. This story is about to unfold to the point. I know I've said it. I don't see Gunther as the face of Netflix. Oh, Gunther's going to be as important on Netflix as Jey Uso is right now. Jey is so important to the fact that when you cut on Netflix, I don't know if y'all see it on y'all's, he's literally on the cover of the Netflix loading screen before you select your profile. And I was like, oh, he really is that guy. And it shows you that they can't do nothing but just ride this wave and keep going, because I don't know if you saw the video where Triple H said in the headset, tell Jey get his son. He's on the Shield side. And I was like, he's been planting these things, and every time he's come out for the last month or so, he stops at a kid and does it with them. He is literally the new John Cena when it comes to merchandise, because if you pull that picture back up, if you look in the background, you see a red shirt, you see an orange shirt. When he's walking through the crowd, you see all of his shirts. So I think that they, right there in the background, you see a red and orange shirt. But every time you look, you can't get away from this movement to the fact that he has to take down the biggest heel and make him the bigger heel, so that way everybody can feel like, okay, our hero wins. But it just sucks that Gunther loses for the second year straight at Mania. He drops the title. So I don't know. I think it's the right move. I think it's the right move because we got to tell a story to get to Mania.
Okay. So, Brother Guy, what I just told Brian H, I have a theory. And in this theory, this question I'm going to propose to you in reference to what Brian said and what you said. And I want you to tell me, once I ask this question, if that changes your outlook on him losing at WrestleMania for a second time in a row. But we got to get to Brother Hugh real quick. Brother Hugh, talk to you. Is this the right move? Jey Uso choosing Gunther early, like Brother Guy said, before Elimination Chamber, and is this really what Jey Uso needs at this moment? Him versus Gunther at WrestleMania. It's a big risk.
Well, I think when it comes to if this is what Jey Uso needs, yes, of course, because he needs to win the title. He needs to tell his story, right? This is somebody that he couldn't beat. When he lost him, 3 times, I believe it was, clean. So this is something, yes, that he needs to finish, right? But who needs it more? I feel like Gunther needs it more, because let's be real. For the last couple months, this is the same thing that happened last year around this time with the WHC, with the World Heavyweight Championship, right? It felt like it is taking a back burner. It's not relevant. It hasn't been relevant for a while. Gunther's run has been kind of dry. You see what I'm saying? It's been lacking something.
Sure. I'm
So
going to address that too,
now,
brother Hugh.
so now you have your newly invented top star, Jey
Mm-hmm.
Uso, going against Gunther. That automatically elevates Gunther in that title, right?
Right.
I love what I saw from Gunther. He was forced to take his character to another level. And that's what was needed at this point in time to kind of revive his championship run.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe both of them going to go in there. They're going to tell a good story. We're going to have a great match at Mania. Of course, Jay gets his moment, but it doesn't make Gunther look bad.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. Because he still
Okay.
had a dominant run. He had it for a
Right.
lengthy amount of time. And you lose to arguably the number 2 guy in the business right now. Well, 3,
Right.
because Cody and Roman. So,
True.
I mean, I think it's a win-win for both of them, to be honest. Just to be
Okay.
honest.
All right. So here's the question I pose to you, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing everything you guys talked about, Brian H., you talked about one aspect of it. Brother Guy, you talked about another aspect of it. And then Brother Hugh, you came across and you talked about another aspect of it. And it leads me to my next point.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, who needs this more? Does Gunther need to become a bigger heel? Does he need Jey Uso to become a bigger heel? Or does Jey Uso need Gunther to become a bigger face? What I'm asking is, you talk about Brother Hugh, you just mentioned it, his title run being lackluster. And over the year, we've been talking about he's been missing that dance partner. You need that rival to define your championship run. Every championship run is always associated with a certain matchup or a rival. It just goes hand in hand in history, right? And I feel like Gunther has not had that. But I'm looking at Jey Uso, and I'm like, man, this might be what he needs, right? When you look at Brian, you brought it up, JBL and John Cena. Maybe John Cena needed a heel like JBL because you weren't going to cheer for anybody outside of John Cena in a match against JBL because he was that hated. He was that dominant of a heel. He had such a crazy, boring, long, intense run. So it's like by the time you got to that point, we were clamoring for John Cena. And it's like, okay, cool. We kind of feel that way about Jey Uso. This is going to be a big moment for him. And yes, Gunther is probably at the verge of ending his title run. But does he need to lose to such a huge? Because this is going to help him long term. Like, imagine the heel he'll be now, right? Like, he needs more hate. He's not hated enough as much as he is. And like, imagine the heat that he got by stopping the Yeet wave. Everybody is sitting there doing their thing, and then he stops it. I'm like, that's what he needs. So the question is, who needs it more? Does a Gunther loss in his career long term as a heel, or does a Jey Uso championship run mean more to him long term as one of the new faces of WWE?
Oh, Jey Uso championship run, because Gunther promised one thing. He promised 10 weeks of hell. And 10 weeks of hell for Jey Uso going into WrestleMania, that right there will, by the time we get there, he's going to be hated. He's going to be hated regardless. So once he's hated, and because you said he's not hated enough, and he probably wasn't hated enough going up against Sami Zayn last year. Now, maybe, just maybe, if he would have went against Chad Gable, the way people were feeling Chad Gable, but I mean, kind of like what we got with Chad Gable now, more so. But I do think that if he would go into, if Jey Uso needs this more, because all this Yeet stuff, and they compare it to WrestleMania, well, you gotta capitalize it. Otherwise, it's like the Golden State Warriors, 79 and 73 and 9 don't mean a thing without a ring. And that's how the Yeet movement will be. So he's got to beat Gunther, but Gunther can become that heel that you speak of with 10 weeks of hell.
Wow. What about you, brother Guy? Who needs it more? Does Gunther need the loss to Jey Uso more, or does Jey Uso need the win?
Yeah, that was the question I posed because I was saying, is this bigger than the Yeet movement? But I felt like it was a different type of movement. This is a more celebrated. This is who we want to be a champion, not who
Yeah,
we want as our champion. And
yeah,
with Gunther, like they kept saying he's been a champion 80% of his career for a reason.
right.
Because what is Gunther without a title? That's what people don't know. Because you even said it with Damian Priest. He got better when he lost the title. Damian
Yes,
Priest became more interesting after he
we knew
wasn't champion.
we knew who he
So
was when he was no longer a champion. Like we found
yes,
out who the Damian Priest really was. Yep, I agree. Hmm.
That's the
and the
same question they was
fact,
asking about Charlotte at one time.
yeah, what if she without the title?
Yeah.
Truthfully, what it? And the thing is, in this Triple H space, you can be a top guy without the champion, or one of the top. I'm just saying wrestler because it includes male and female without the championship.
Hmm.
But Gunther right now holding the championship, it's not enough backstory or grit or grime. Nobody's going to remember his triple threat match with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre because they're going to be so focused on what he's doing to the Jay. They're going to be so focused on that. And this is going to be his career defining, and I want to say breakout moment. But can you imagine main event night one, that music hits, and he comes down there in that trench coat and the pyro's going off, and he's just standing there at the anticipation, waiting for their hero to come to take this villain down. That's all that we're going to think about. That's going to be the moment that everybody's going to remember. Night one,
Right.
main event, WrestleMania. This is what happened. So I think that it's going to be a thing where Gunther needs this because post Mania, he still got to be there. Post
True.
Mania, he got to have something to latch onto, even if he gets it back in Backlash. No matter what, it's got to be a, oh shoot, don't forget about Gunther. Look what he did to Jay. Look what he did leading up to Mania. Look what he did in this match.
Hmm.
So, and how does Jay overcome that? Because he said 3 chances. Does he have it? Does he have it this time to do it?
True. Now, because of the dust, it is. We got to look at the other side of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gunther is a Triple H guy. What if Triple H decides, well, Jey Uso's already over. A loss will make him an even bigger baby face and get him ready for next year, almost like Cody, right? Imagine Gunther beating Jey Uso at WrestleMania when we're all convinced that, oh, it's Jey Uso's time. Just like we were convinced that when Cody came back, it was his time immediately. And I was pissed. And they made us wait a whole nother year.
Video. I wish you kept that video up.
Oh yeah, it was not live. I hit the wrong button and it deleted. And I was like, and I was stuck. After for a split second, I said, bro, I'm not watching this no more.
But remember,
Like,
I said Brady's not ringside. He's not winning. I said, where's Downstate? There's too many things been saying he's not winning. I was like, oh no, they're really not gonna let him win. I was like, no, no way.
And I didn't see that coming. But you saw what happened afterwards. They have no problem giving it an entire year around it to something even bigger than what it would have been. And we all say, okay, yeah, it makes sense. So is
But
there a
really,
chance?
the only problem with that, we've seen that in Jay from when he first wrestled Roman at SummerSlam when this movement, quote unquote, began. Because remember, I said, as soon as he get the crowd to do something, he's going to be a made single star. As soon as he got them to do that, they gave him his own music. They gave him truly his own identity, put him on a different show. You know, we've been through that heartache and pain and that disappointment. You think they're going to make us be hurt again? And when I say us, you think like WrestleMania 40 that week, I pointed out to you, I said, every time you turn around, all you saw was a Cody something, whether it was a jacket, a hat. It was no way that Cody was not winning because of the amount of Cody stuff that we had saw. Look how much Jey Uso stuff we're seeing right now. It's just every week he got a different color shirt.
It's flying off the shelves. That's when you hit John Cena levels. Looking to a brand color. Like bloodline guys are all red and black, but like now you just coming out orange, and then he was doing the blue and pink. Now he's like, nope, it's just whatever city I'm in, blue, pink, green,
black,
turquoise,
gold. He said,
I'm
whatever,
like,
I'm just gonna do it.
Just making money hand over fist.
That's it.
And guess what? And of course, you guys talked about the fans in the crowd, right? Now people who have no problem sitting in that section are going to be like, yo, let me get me a Jey Uso shirt and a sunglasses just in case he comes through this side. And I'm just like, oof, this is going to be rather intense, but I think we're okay. So are we all convinced that Jey Uso is officially dethroning Gunther at WrestleMania and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion?
Yeet.
Night one.
Yeet.
It's got to be night one.
All right. Fair enough. Safe to say. Now, there's a few more surprises as we go to WrestleMania, but we're going to take a quick pit stop because we have to discuss, first and foremost, the Elimination Chamber. Now, we're not quite there yet. We got about 2 weeks, right? And there's 2 spots that's left open. We have 4 already filled. We're looking for 2 more spots for this year's Elimination Chamber. But we're going to take a pit stop because as much as we talk about releases, there's a little bit of free agency that's going on around here. And I know this is going to be great for the Black wrestling community because we got to have this conversation. A free agent, most recently released free agent, he shows up in NXT. And there he is, free at last. Thank God Almighty. In February, Black History Month, he is free at last. After months of speculation, after months of rumors and things about Ricky Starks trying to get his release from AEW, one of Cody's homies. Cody's bringing all his boys over to WWE in case it's not obvious. Everybody he recruited, they're all coming over. Ricky Starks finally shows up in NXT. Gentlemen, what's this all about? Come on, give me the Ricky Stark buzz because I caught flack when I said that All Ego Ethan Page had a better upside than Ricky Starks, and all Black Twitter went nuts. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And of course, Ethan Page got to NXT first. He's had an NXT champion, and he's on his way to being a deranged psychopath who keeps trying to break Javon Edwards' face.
For context, because what made you choose them two? Was they facing off against each other, or was it?
No, the thing is, I've always looked at Ethan Page and said, okay, he has a crazy upside, and I think he solidified it for me when they did the Heart Compound skit with Ethan Page and Stokely Hathaway and Big Cass, and his performance in that. I forgot what they called it. It might have been Final Deletion or something like that, but I was like, yo, he's entertaining as heck. Like his timing, the way he talks in the mic, the build-up, they were riding in the car getting gassed up. And I said, yo, Ethan Page if he could ever physically make himself look a little bit better, like physically as far as his body is concerned, I said, he has a chance to be a player. I said, he's up next. Everybody said he's crazy because he was the guy that wasn't really used as much.
Yeah. He
wasn't somebody that, you saw them much, but then Ricky Starks came on the scene hot. You know what I mean? A lot of charisma, a lot of pizzazz, you know what I mean? And once people found out he was Black, they took more interest in him, like, okay, he's a brother. So this is somebody that we should be looking. And when people started paying more attention to him, like, oh, this dude has got it. And he became almost an instant fan favorite. And I'm like, okay, cool. But to me, I felt like there's still something left to be desired. I said, one, he's got a few things going against him. I said his size, that's one thing. I said, now I don't know who Ricky Starks is. I think he's got something there, but it's the same critique I had of Carmelo Hayes when Carmelo Hayes first got on this. I said, I don't know who the heck Carmelo Hayes is. I know exactly who he is now. Carmelo Hayes is him, flat out.
You don't know who the absolute one is,
right? It wasn't clear to me. Like who is he? Like I know he's got upside, but I saw it more in Ethan Page than I saw with Ricky Starks at the time. And I'm like, yo, what's the buzz? Like, why is it that? And I said that he has a bigger upside than Ricky Starks. But Ricky Starks is here now. He is a fan favorite. He is beloved by so many. And now he's in NXT. He is someone we've always said he needs to be in NXT. He'll be a star in NXT. He needs Shawn Michaels. Now he's here. What's next for Ricky Starks? I don't know if the rumors are true about them changing his name. I hope not. It makes no sense. But regardless, he's in NXT now, brothers. What is he supposed to do? What is Ricky Starks' upside? What does it look like? What is about to happen now that he's finally getting his opportunity to be at the forefront of one of WWE's biggest NXT?
He's gonna add depth to that roster. That's what he's gonna do. He said you
That's
need a
the best you
superstar.
can say, brother Hugh.
As of right now, yes, because we don't know what he can do here. To be honest,
That's what I
right?
was saying.
We
That's
saw what
that was
he
my
what
whole
we saw.
point.
We saw what he can do in AEW, but that's a
Yep.
whole different ball game. So
hmm
let's see what he can do here. So I'm just going off of what he said. They needed a megastar. All right, now he's about to get the Ethan Page treatment. I'm pretty sure they're going to throw him in some high profile matchups on
hmm
NXT just to kind of get his feet wet, get everybody acclimated to who he is. I hope they don't change his name. I don't think that would make too much sense, but from there, I just see him coming in, adding depth to the roster. We're going to see a lot of matchups that we want to see, or
hmm
you know how Triple H does, right? He gives us stuff that we don't even know we want to see.
There
So
you go.
like you got Trick Willie. He's off doing his own thing now. There's not a lot of like contenders up there for the actual NXT championship.
Mhm.
That's the reason you have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory down there fighting for it, right?
Right. Yep.
So you need some new blood down there. You need some new heat. Heat insert
Okay.
Ricky Starks. It's perfect.
All right. What about you, brother Guy? Do you agree with the sentiments of brother Hugh? Is what's Ricky Starks going to do in NXT now? Now that he's there, the fans wanted him. Ricky Starks this, Ricky Starks that. Okay, he's here now.
So I'm gonna say this because you're probably gonna hate when I say this. If this doesn't show you that it's the third brand and they needed a veteran to help, this should show
Mhm.
you why. Because you you keep having the new and upcoming stars, right? But you don't have those veterans to
hmm
help them with that in-ring work. Like, and that's why they had an Ethan Page, that's why they had a Sean Spears, Lexus King, and now Ricky Starks.
Fandango just
Thanks
came back.
AEW for thanks AEW for being our feeder for our quote unquote third brand. And Ricky Starks, there's nothing wrong with going to NXT.
No,
There's
no
nothing
shame at
wrong
all.
with being, and he looks like a CW character. Like when I look at Ricky Starks, he looks like he belongs in CW. Like any show, just insert him. That looks like somebody from any side of anything that's ever been produced. But people forget Ricky Starks did a lot on the indie scene before he made it to AEW. He probably should have came to AEW. I mean WWE before he went to AEW because NWA being the first one to hold the inaugural NWA World Television title says that they had some faith in this guy because of the things that he had done. Being a Defy champion, ACW, all the things that he had done before he got there, he came with a lot of momentum, and it seemed like he still has his momentum. And if Undertaker came out and said it, he helped him. I mean, he helped Michelle McCool trade. So people know him for other reasons than just being an AEW. So now it's just time to put the spotlight on him in some way, shape, or form so he can understand the WWE way.
Okay. Brian H, the absolute Ricky Starks.
Oh,
What
by the
does
way, what is his name anyway? Because it's a reason they ain't say it, but
They didn't say it.
it's a he said, "You know my name."
well, there's rumors about Dexter Steele. I don't know what that's about, but
Oh gosh.
It's
I don't
13
know.
names they trademarked, so
They
13 or
could,
so, right?
yeah, they could be just testing.
Sure.
So yeah, they could be doing a temperature check. See, see
That's exactly
who.
what it was.
Yeah.
See if his name carries any weight, or we can start fresh with the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Brian H. What's next for absolute Ricky Starks now that he's here on the big stage?
North American Championship contender.
Dang, already?
Yeah, because it's looking a little bland over there. You got this title on Obafemi. And
Who's going to beat him?
Right. Miro or Aleister Black. They'll
Why
contend
you want
with
to
him.
send all the old heads back to NXT, bro? It's not that guy. You want to see
Like brother Brandon said, that proves that's the third brand. So
send the Miro back there with all them kids. He's gonna ask for his release again. Where's Vince? I'm on my release. Nah, Miro, it's a different day.
Roosters Day. But I think North American. I mean, I know Ridge Holland is in the mix right now, and
He just lost.
Yeah, and Tony D'Angelo and all that. But throw him there.
I'm not a Tony D'Angelo guy, by the way.
Huh?
I'm not a Tony D'Angelo guy. That's not going to work on the main roster. There we go. This corny NXT stuff.
Oh yeah, that is the typical stereotypical. Don't
And
forget
working
about it.
over here.
Yeah, but Tony D is a heck of a performer.
He is. I just that's that
That
Riddick
gimmick
Moss type
throws you
stuff.
off.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the and working over here. Like, come on,
Forget
man.
about
It's
it.
not
It's
gonna
the
work anymore.
family.
Forget about it, huh?
Who did they make sleep with the fishes? Remember somebody got released and they said, "Oh, they sleeping with the fishes."
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was his boy, wasn't it?
Who knows?
Who was it?
Oh no.
It's not.
I feel like it was his old boy. Yeah, because he had another guy
It's
with
not.
him at one point in time.
Who
No, it was
knows?
the Diamond Mines. It was what you call it from Undisputed Era. When he got it wasn't him. It was the one. Oh, forget it. Never
I
mind.
don't know, but
Yeah,
I know with Ricky Starks, he gonna get that black title. Because all the black superstars rock with the North American title. So
Black title.
yeah, the black
That's what we call
title.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a new
Think
one.
about it: Wesley, Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams,
Well, goddamn.
him from
All of them.
DC, and yeah,
Black-
so
Black History Month spotlight. Okay.
add him to it. He'll beef with Wesley again. Or not again, but him and Wesley will have a program.
I think that'll be.
Yeah, he's mid card, mid upper card, upper mid card. Because Obafemi's so dominant, it's like no, don't do that.
Who's beating that guy?
Right.
Is he going to be a big star?
I'm not answering that question because
Who's going? Okay, answer this question. Who's going to be?
No, that's even worse.
You're gonna have to see him at Wale Mania. So like, this is who's gonna be a bigger star, him or Ethan Page?
You asking me that during Black History Month,
Right.
Brother Hugh,
Ricky Starks. I'm gonna put it on record, Ricky Starks, because I already care more about him when he talked yesterday than I did when he was in that T-shirt company.
Ricky Starks is going to be in the limelight more. Ethan Page is going to have longevity.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it, and that's also a fair assessment. What about you, Brother Hugh? Is that seem? That's the balance.
I'm gonna say
No, he didn't want to answer
I
either.
don't care. I don't care.
You're not a Ricky Starks guy, Brother Hugh?
I'm not sure what he can do. Like I'm not that familiar with him. I seen him in NWA
Okay.
and AEW. Look, what happened? He had a couple of flashes here and there, and then he was out for a year because somebody was being petty.
So be a pillar.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly.
Supposed to be a pillar.
Exactly. So I haven't seen him in over a year, so I need to see him do what he can do in this new environment. So
there you go.
They'll come and take you over the edge. That's when he disappeared after that.
Oh, Brother Hugh, always the fair one. So we'll see.
Did y'all see CM Punk's Instagram post?
No, what did he say?
He posted the happy emoji, like he posted it and happy emoji, and then Ricky Starks had posted the say Drake.
Yeah, I did see that. I did.
Yeah.
That definitely got some buzz. We'll see what happens with Ricky Starks in WWE. Now he's on the main stage. It was a free Ricky Starks movement.
It was
amongst AEW fans. And he was finally free. It's free a Black History Month.
I wonder if he's still going to do those indie dates that he had signed up for.
He's the Defied champion.
Is he going to still do those indie dates?
Shoot, I wouldn't.
He's probably not. He's probably title at some point.
Think about it, they might let him.
I don't know.
The best part is he got a good bump card still.
Yeah. So he's he hasn't done much in AEW. So, but he became a household name though. So like you can't deny what AEW has allowed to happen when it comes to new talent. It just they do with it once they find new talent. But I'm almost certain that Shawn Michaels will definitely figure out what to do with him. But we're moving back, and we're gonna get out here on decent time because we're gonna wrap up the show. Here we are.
Flex Kavana. That's his name.
Stop.
That's crazy.
He definitely dressed up as The Rock for Halloween, didn't he? Anyway, he come out there with $500 shirt looking. I don't know. I do some research about Ricky Starks. I just know I caught a lot of heat for it, and I was like, I don't get it. Where's all the heat coming from? Elimination Chamber so far, good brothers. I'm assuming, and this is a big assumption, that we will find out something more after Elimination Chamber about where we're headed as far as this WWE Championship match with Cody Rhodes. Like I said, we got some time. It's not till March 1st. We're not even ready to even talk about everything that comes with Elimination Chamber. But we do know for a fact that we have 4 entrants who have already qualified in Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, the Great Cena, and the Great CM Punk. We have 2 spots left. Who do you guys want to see in these last 2 spots for the Elimination Chamber? Let's start there, and then once we get, we're going to get this. We're going to put together the card or just a group of guys in the Elimination Chamber this year, and then we're going to just assume that somebody out of this group is going to go on to main event WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So, who else do we want to see in this match? We got Logan Paul, John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. It's a pretty loaded group right there. It's a very popular group on every level. You got somebody to represent Europe. You got somebody to represent the mainstream. Mm-hmm. We got somebody to represent the popular kids. That's Logan Paul, by the way. We got somebody to represent the diehards, the CM Punk. So it's clearly calculated. If you haven't noticed. I don't know. I might be feeling some type of Lucha vibe coming soon. I don't know. Represent the Hispanic community, but what are we thinking? Who fills these last 2 spots for Elimination Chamber?
I mean, they only had 2 more matches left, right? They had what? Jacob, the triple threat with Jacob, Damian, and Strowman. Okay. I'm assuming Jake was going to win that.
I got but with Damian.
I was about to say, part of me is like, look, this might be a better spot for Damian because you need to tell some type of story for him going into WrestleMania. And if you look at the SmackDown roster right now, who else do you really have right now? Let's just be honest. Who else do you have?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then the other match is Finn and Seth Rollins. I feel like Seth is going to take it because he deserves to be in that lineup right there. Finn does too, but Finn, they keep dropping the ball with Finn. And it's pissing me off. And I feel like somehow, some way,
be pissed off about something.
I feel like somehow, some way, we're gonna end up getting like Dom versus Finn. It just looks that way. It just looks that way.
It might cook a little bit at WrestleMania.
Yeah. It's gonna hit different, but yeah.
So here's my question: what if we don't get Seth Rollins in this match? Is because maybe he's going to be occupied doing something else. You feel me? I don't know. Yeah. Speculation. So
you'll still be okay because Finn is a decorated star too. So I mean, you'll be okay with it. But I just think
you need people to lose in that match too.
Yeah. That is true.
I don't mean to put it that way, but it's like you need credible losers. Unfortunately, somebody like you said, yeah, like you say, he is credible. And he could win, but
that makes sense.
If he loses, you're not gonna be like, "Oh, that makes no sense. Finn should have won." You're like, "Well, okay, he got bested."
Well, that's why I say Seth Rollins is gonna be in there because it's gonna be another Royal Rumble moment.
Okay,
we got 10 of your top stars in the ring, and it's like, oh shoot, now who do I want to win?
That's how you get.
And then Jay came out on top. Yeah, so, but yeah, we'll see.
So who? So you put Seth Rollins and Jacob for 2. That's what you're going with.
I'm not sure on Jacob, but yes, let's go with Jacob.
Thinking Damian
right now.
Okay.
I'm thinking more Damian because it just makes sense to me. Jacob, yes, you want to see him in these type of matches, but Damian is kind of like he needs something extra right now to give. He needs that little push right now going into WrestleMania season because he's a former champion, right?
He's got to keep his event status.
Absolutely. And plus with all this talk talking about they doing all this talk talking about Drew and Damian, they might end up scrapping that and all that good stuff. Nah, he needs some sort of push. So I would put him in there, to be honest.
Oh, okay. All right. What about you, Brian H? Are you picking up what they're putting down?
Yeah, I see Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. Part of me feels like the tribal chief will show up in Toronto and take out Seth Rollins, though.
That's what I'm thinking, but how is that possible? There'll be an elimination chamber.
Same way that who was it when Jericho took out one of the champions?
Punk.
Punk. Yeah, Punk.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, but say
Yeah,
you know,
Punk
brother
was the
guy well.
champion. Punk was
Yeah,
the
yep,
champion.
yeah, he
yep.
got punked out of it.
Mhm.
So
I
you
see
know
what you
he
did
could,
there.
yeah, he could do
I say,
that.
yeah,
He could, beat him up, and then all of a sudden, you know, he think he's out of it. He take his place. Then all of a
Oh,
sudden,
Bobby Lashley.
sort of. Then Roman, then Seth. He ain't out of it too much because obviously the thing is you don't want Roman pinned, which
exactly.
yeah, you could do a thing where Seth Rollins comes and beats him up and takes it. It could be a back and forth thing, or you could
Mhm.
have the CM Punk. I think the only person in that match that would pin a Roman Reigns would be John Cena. So
Mhm.
you could do it that way. But that's also me reaching. But I definitely think it's Seth Rollins and Damian Priest.
Okay,
I definitely
all
don't
right.
think John Cena's gonna get a pin anytime soon. They're gonna milk
You
this
So,
story.
you don't think he wins this?
Nah,
I,
if I'm
this is
WWE, I'm milking that story as long as possible. I keep saying it. Chase the 17. They keep saying it for a reason. Hey, why not milk it until mid-year at least, and then cash in on it.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough one. Like
Mhm.
that
What you
seems.
say? Cash in.
Oh
oh,
yeah,
that's
shoot.
crazy.
He's never successfully cashed in the Money in the Bank.
Hmm.
Here's the
Hmm.
thing. It's too early to speculate the winner of Elimination Chamber because we're going to save that for the Elimination Chamber preview show. We got about 2 more weeks. But with that being said, we know that after Elimination Chamber, it should start to shape up this road
Mm.
a little bit better for us. Something we've been tiptoeing down the yellow brick Wrestlemania road for a while now, and I feel like we never want to jump the gun or move too fast because we want to wait to see how things kind of shape up. And I'm curious now. Out of anybody in this match that you're looking at, do you see anybody that will go on as Cody at WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
It's because I see everybody in this match fighting each other in some way, shape, or form. I can see Logan Paul versus John Cena. I can see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns or whoever. Like I see these things. Not to mention we still got this favor that CM Punk is by Paul Heyman that he could cash in at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm not necessarily sure that anybody in this particular match, or the two people, the two spots that we've kind of Damian Priest or Jacob Fatu and Seth Rollins or Finn Balor, I don't see anybody in this match potentially even facing Cody Rhodes and it making sense. Not that it has to right now. We got some time,
Mm-hmm.
but let's just say because we're gonna wrap this up. We're getting out of here. We're getting out of here at a decent time today.
Mm-hmm.
Speculating.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody see anybody in this match or the people we predicted going on to main event WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes? Brother
So
guy?
I think it's something that we forgot to consider, right? Everybody's harping on a singles match.
Here we go.
Why can't it be a fatal four way? Why can't it be a triple threat? Because if you put Seth and Damien in this match, right?
WrestleMania
We
2000.
know for a fact.
Mhm.
Here's the problem: if you put Seth and Damien in this match, Punk. I mean, I'm sorry. Logan and Cena are going to just play back fiddle because them four men can't be in the same ring with each other because they're going to try to kill each other. Steph wants to kill Punk on sight. Drew wants to kill everybody that he sees. Everybody got bad blood, so that leaves just those two.
True.
So let's be
Yeah.
honest. One of them are going to take the pin, or something's going to happen that it's going to wind up being a something where it winds up being a multi-man match because what bigger way to top a match because you still got the Roman aspect of it. So why can't it be, oh, it was no clear winner or whatever it may be, and you have a CM Punk and John Cena both claiming that they won because one might have pinned Seth, one might pin Logan Paul, ref count at the same time, whatever it may be, and Roman is there, and it's a fatal four-way because then that frees up Drew and Damian to fight each other at Mania. Logan
Hmm.
Paul can go with anybody at this point. Anybody on Raw can have a match with Logan Paul. It could be him
Yep.
and
True.
Penta, and that would be a oh my god moment because can you
Oh my
imagine
god,
what
I
him
got
and Penta
excited
could
just thinking
actually
about
be?
it.
Right. So Logan, there you go. There's your WrestleMania match. But a fatal four-way for the WWE Championship. Is it going to be the man that Cody defeated? or the man that's trying to chase 17, or the man who always won the main event WrestleMania. There's your story in a fatal 4-way
We still
right there.
got Randy Orton lurking.
Exactly.
He's got to
Exactly.
fight KO. That's KO.
Yeah,
But
but it's looking
that's
like
Sammy too.
we might get Sammy Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
But you still
I
got
don't know.
so many other. There's so many
This is
random possibilities.
You see?
I think Triple H is going to pull. He hasn't really done a multi-man match for a title in his reign yet. We've had the
Yeah, but
triple threat match,
he participated in one, and it was a bad idea. It didn't go well.
but that's more the reason for him to
Moist.
fix it. But think about it, that's more the reason for him to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Because how else do you get all them on the card? You have too much talent. If you keep
Exactly.
a six match format for Mania, you do 7. It's gonna be like, whoa, hold on there, AEW, slow down. You're doing too many matches on night 1 and night 2. You're gonna kill the crowd.
60
He's gonna
matches.
have think about it, 14 matches in 2 days if he has 7 and 7, or we're gonna wind up with a Bobby, well, the Hurt Business, or what was it? Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the random LWO put together just to get them on the card. No, it's gonna. I think this year is gonna be impactful matches that we're gonna see from start to finish. No bathroom breaks. No. Oh, what is this match? It's gonna be glued to the TV or glued to your seat. And what better way to do it than tell the story of John Cena chasing 17, Roman getting back to his island of relevancy, CM Punk chasing his dream of main eventing, and Cody holding on to keep his story going.
Interesting. Brian H. Do you see in this match, this potential match? We still got 2 spots, but out of all the people we named, do you see anybody in this match main eventing WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes?
John Cena. I'm sticking with it.
So you sold on this John Cena thing, and you think that'll put butts in the seats?
1000%. It's John Cena.
Oh yeah, it will.
I know it's John Cena, but like, here's to me why I'm a little bit hesitant to that whole thing. And when I tell you my reservations, tell me why what I'm saying is not necessarily true or maybe wrong. People know too much. Everybody know John Cena's not sticking around. Like, we all know John Cena's not having another championship run. He may, but it doesn't seem like he's really interested in that. So, like, would it really be believable that we have 2 of the biggest babyface? It makes sense, passing of the torch moment. You know what I mean? Does it make sense for Cody to be as big a star he is and just kind of wasting that talent on a showcase moment? Oh, it's Cody versus Cena, the biggest match in the world. It's like, well, is it? Because I'm getting like Hogan Flair vibes to it, where it's like, okay, yeah, you can have it, but it doesn't prove anything. John Cena's not in his prime. He's old John Cena. He's like actor John Cena, and you know he's leaving. And it's like, okay, and you have Cody that is Captain America right now. And it's like, would that moment really be worth it?
You're in your wrestling bag, buddy. Gotta think about your sports entertainment bag, your Netflix bag. We just watched a whole marketing ploy for the last 2 weeks on can the Kansas City Chiefs 3-peat? Right? It had people hooked in. It had people hooked in. You had either people wanted to see history or people like me who were happy that didn't want to see it. You know, but the whole point was it was an opportunity for history to be made. Right here, you have opportunity for history to be made in front of new fans, returning fans. You tell them that this guy has a chance to become a champion for the 17th time at the Showcase of the Immortals. Yeah, this is where it's at. And go against the ultimate good guy. Now, we know not so many people love the whole baby first versus babyface mode, but in this case, why not? Personally,
that makes sense.
You know, personally, you know, I would like to see more so, you know, Cena go do something else. Put Roman, Cody, throw in Punk, throw in Rollins. That's what I would like.
I mean, that'd be a big one. That keep people on their toes. You don't like Cena versus Logan Paul? You don't think that's not big enough? Two guys that are kind of outside WWE.
I
That's a
was
big.
sitting here trying to think. I'm like, did we get that? But no, it was Austin Theory. That would
Yeah.
be, that could work.
It definitely will work.
You see what I'm saying? Like we talk about two crossover guys. Like you know what I mean? Like one guy's a movie star now, full time. The other guy's kind of a wrestler, but he's really good at it. Like I feel like Logan Paul might have to carry John Cena in the match, which is strange for me to say.
Yeah, right.
But you like that's a busted matchup. They'll take that everywhere and advertise. You know what I mean? John Cena's facing off against Logan Paul. You kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I don't hate it. Like I said, I mean, the real main event I really want to see is the final boss. But
we don't see this is the I don't know. See, we're going to close this out because there's a one because we need to. This is just one of those episodes.
We got 10 weeks to hell.
Yeah, we got an awkward space in between what we have next. So it's like show is going to be. I knew the show was going to go in this direction because there's going to be more question marks than answers, and I'm okay with that, especially with where we are. But Matt Hardy exposed the industry a couple weeks ago when he talked about his interview with Chris Van Vliet. And he talked about his debut when the Hardys came back. And he said the WWE, they capitalized. He didn't say this, but he pretty much made it clear. They capitalized on one tool, the red herring. What is a red herring? The red herring is always something that's meant to be a distraction, to pull you away from what you think you want, to really send you into a space that you're going to find out, oh, this is where I really want to be. Brother Guy talks about that all the time. Like, I didn't realize I wanted this. Like, I don't trust CM Punk now because I think he's a red herring. He has got us convinced that he's got to have this moment and he's got a main event WrestleMania. It's because this might be his last chance. And I'm like, he might just be telling us that just for the sake of telling us that. It's because he might be a red herring. They talked about when they made their return to WWE at WrestleMania and the New Day came out in full gear. He said they were a red herring. Like they were meant to convince the audience that they were going to join an already loaded match, which the Good Brothers were in, by the way. Only for it to be
it's a Enzo and Cass moment because that was their night.
Yep. So screw them. All about the Good Brothers. Too sweet. Only for it really to be the Hardys. They were on an expedition of gold. They were everywhere. They were Ring of Honor. They were in TNA, and then they showed up in WrestleCon.
No, in the streets, it was like some sort of street thing early in Orlando, and I vividly remember riding to WrestleMania and with Corey and Glenn, and I remember the news alert came through my phone. Jeff Hardy reports to CBS that they signed an extension with Ring of Honor, and I was like, dang, only for them to come up and show up.
Red herrings. I think that we've got something like that brewing on this WrestleMania. I don't know what that is. It has to be, right? It has to be. We're having because there's so many unanswered questions. You still have Rock out there. You still have Randy Orton still lurking around. Like they're doing stuff to purposely throw us off. We're assuming that we're going towards Kevin and Sami Zayn, right? But what does Randy Orton have to say about that? Royal Rumble's already passed. Your Elimination Chamber is here. You think he's missing WrestleMania this year? I don't see it happening that way. So there's so much to get into, and we're about 2 weeks away from Elimination Chamber, and hopefully we're going to watch things play out. We're going to tiptoe this continually. We're going to watch how this works out, and then we're going to continue to navigate the landscape from a very intelligent point of view. It's because we got to slow ourselves down. Triple H is trying to get us. We're too smart for that, but we got to pay attention. And I think it's
Solo is in the chamber for all we know.
Freaking Solo Sikoa just came back. He beat up Cody Rhodes. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Right. Like there's all these things that are like, and then like think about it. We don't even know the relationship now between Solo and Jacob Fatu, because Jacob's been calling the shots lately. Him and Tama Tonga been doing their thing. He hasn't mentioned Solo. He told Jey Uso because I didn't realize they were 6 years younger than the freaking Usos. Good gosh, Jacob. He goes, because
been through some things.
Yeah, the life to do that to you.
And
big.
that man, they let him cut his promos. I said, that's the part that was missing. When they start letting him cut them promos.
You know what the problem with that is, brother guy? He's starting to get over. I'm like, uh-oh. He can stand on his own. No solo, no
So he
problem.
says, hey, no gas, no brakes, all gas. I was like, okay.
And he's got crazy
cutting them in the most rawest form. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. And they let him be him. Something they didn't let the Good Brothers do. They didn't let them be themselves. But they let Jacob do it. And I'm like, uh-oh. Jacob gonna start getting over. He's cutting the promos on the way to the ring. He's cutting the promos in the ring. He said, because, you know, we need this championship back in our family. But the dang show ain't gonna be you. It shouldn't be you. I was like, okay, well, clearly. He ain't saying nothing about Solo. So we don't know what that's gonna look like. We don't know if
he didn't even acknowledge him.
Bro, this might be the same vicious cycle. The same thing Solo did. Like, all right, well, Solo, you wasn't here, so now I'm in charge.
Right.
You know, I could easily see Tonga Loa coming back, and then Jacob and the Gorillas of Destiny doing their own thing. Yeah,
now y'all talking good to me. Good to me. Go ahead.
Brother, he's tribal chief, Tonga Loa. So this is what I'm saying.
Did he got music yet? Did he get his own music yet?
Hey, yo, leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Just give us some time. So this is what I'm saying. We're not going to jump the gun because we're smarter than that, right? We're smarter than that. We're going to tiptoe. We're going to carefully walk this. I think we did what we needed to do for tonight's show. We got down to. We know where one is headed. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen next. We're going to come back next week, and I'm sure it's going to be much more defined and much more kind of the road is going to get narrower and narrower. But until then,
talking about the women's elimination chamber.
We haven't even cracked open that can of worms, but we will. Like I said, we have some time, but trust me, we'll definitely get into all that and more. Please follow the Good Brothers, the Wrestling Realm, on our social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Like, subscribe to our Patreon channel, Twitch, and our YouTube channel. Engage in the conversation with us. Also, you can follow Championship Culture on Instagram at Championship Culture _. Tiptoe with us this week and tiptoe with us next week, because we're going to keep on tiptoeing our way to WrestleMania. We're not going to do a full sprint. It's because last time we did that, we all got burnt out and exhausted, and we got embarrassed. At least I was. But until then,
look, real this.
WWE dropped the ball with the Good Brothers, or did they? Keep them under contract.
Yo, we was about to get out of here, bro.
And kept them away from other promotions.
Great question. Let them cook.
The crazy part is, though, I was thinking that. I said, bro, what if here's the thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say because we get out of here. Because I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm like, is this calculated? Is because they want to send them to TNA? Like, look, it's best for you to be over here right now because right now we go a different direction. Or what if this is one big ploy? Like I said, on Monday, the tag team championship, I said, I just want to see the Good Brothers come out right now and beat up the Viking Raiders and the Creed Brothers just to make a statement. Like, you think you're going to cut us? You know, I'm already coming up with plots and stuff in my head, but I'm just like, I'm so upset right now. I can't even fathom that to even be a storyline because releasing somebody is serious business. And for that to be kind of, but then again, it is Triple H, and I'm like, well, they're not, nothing seems to be off limits, but who knows? We're going to talk about that, all that and more next week. We're going to see how this plays out. I'm going to stay quiet about it. I said my piece. For those who don't forget to watch Championship Culture every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on youtube.com/Wrestling Realm. Playlist Championship Culture. Follow all the brothers on their social media platforms. It's on the screen. It's been on the screen the entire episode. Stay safe. Enjoy wrestling. We are out of here. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem.
For all exclusive shows and bonus material, subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/thewrestling_realm. You can watch all of our Wrestling Realm content anytime on youtube.com/thewrestling realm.